All right, so we're going to begin. Go ahead and find yourself in a comfortable seat. You can sit either crisscross applesauce or in Sukhasana. And then in Sukhasana, just make sure that you pull the flesh of your bottom back so that you're sitting right upright on your pelvis. And then just gently close your eyes. Imagine yourself getting a little bit taller, a little bit longer. Notice the sound, the depth, and the quality of your breath. And then gently let the breath get a little bit longer than you started with. And if an Ujjayi breath is comfortable for you, you'll gently seal the lips, narrow the base of your throat, and allow the breath to mimic the sound of an ocean wave. On your next breath in, fill up as much as you can. Exhale completely out until you find a place of empty, and then just pause and hold. And then just breathe in 1/3 of the breath, and then pause. Breathe in 2/3. Fill all the way up to the top. Through the nose, release. And again, pause on empty. Breathe in 1/3. Breathe in 2/3. Fill all the way up. Through the nose, release. And then once more, just like that, breathing in 1/3, 2/3, and filling all the way up. Let everything go. And then pause. Connect back with your Ujjayi breath, smooth, even breath. Find a pace and a depth and a quality that feels comfortable. And then take both palms right in front of your chest. And you'll cross your right arm over your left, and then just hook your thumbs together. So if you need to take a peek up here, you can take a peek. So this mudra is called Garuda mudra. Most of you have heard of the pose Garudasana, which is basically eagle. Garuda is actually a Hindu deity and signifies many things, some things being virtue, but mostly hope. And I thought that we could all use a little bit of hope this morning. So let's just keep your mudra intact, and then as you breathe in, fill up 1/3, pause. Breathe in, lift your mudra and pause. And then breathe out, lift it just a little bit higher and pause. And then exhale through the nose, release everything back down. And again, inhale 1/3. Inhale 2/3. And then inhale, fill all the way up. And then exhale, release. And then once more on your own, using the 3-part breath. And then just settling with your mudra at your heart space. And just take a moment to connect with your place of inner hope. Hope for yourself, hope for your family, our community, our planet. And then take a deep breath in as you let your eyes open. Sweep your arms all the way up overhead. Find a full breath in. And then take it over to one side. Doesn't matter which side, we're going to do both. So just bend your bottom elbow and lengthen through your side body. And do a little bit of turning inward. So if you turn inward, it'll get this like lower side back area, which feels nice. If you turn upward, it'll get a little bit more oblique side. So go ahead and pick what feels better. And then take an inhale as you rise and just switch sides. Bottom arm will bend enough to feel the stretch along your side. And then add either the rotation inward or the rotation upward, depending on what feels best in your body this morning. Do try and keep your opposite hip really grounded so that you get the full experience of the lengthening on your side body. Take one more breath. And then inhale as you rise, come all the way back up. If your legs are crisscrossed, then go ahead and switch the cross of your legs. And then grab a hold of your strap or your strap-like item. And if you have a strap with a belt, like a metal buckle, go ahead and hold onto that with one hand so we're not flinging it around. And then just widen your arms as wide as your item is or as wide as your strap is. And then you can adjust the width of this depending on how open your shoulders feel this morning. Narrower is going to be for a little bit more open shoulders. Wider is on the tighter side. Take an inhale as you reach your arms up towards the ceiling, and then exhale as you drop the arms behind you. And then again with breath, inhale, takes your arms overhead. And then exhale, release the arms in front. Couple more like that. Breathe in and breathe out. And one more. Breathe in and breathe out. And then inhale, take two arms up towards the ceiling and then just pause. Take a big side bend over to one side. Again, it doesn't matter which side. And then inhale, reach back to center, pause, and then switch, big side bend your other side. And then inhale, reach back towards the ceiling. Start to move the strap behind you and stop when you feel that space that's a little bit sticky, or you could use a little bit of extra breath and breathe into your shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath. And then gently release. Go ahead and drop the strap, and then you can just move it off to the side of your mat. And then just do a couple of really big shoulder rolls, a couple in one direction, and then reverse, a couple in the opposite direction, and then a couple of head rolls. Chin to chest, roll the ear towards the shoulder. Chin to chest, and roll your ear towards the other shoulder. And then come back to center. Inhale, let your head come back to a neutral place. We're going to shift into hands and knees. And so if you're following along with the playlist, go ahead and push play now. So if you have a blanket underneath your bottom, you can move it to the side, or if you prefer to have a little bit of support for your knees, you're welcome to put it there. Let the palms come underneath your shoulders and the knees come underneath your hips. Let's do a few rounds of cat-cow just to warm up the spine. Inhale as the belly drops and the gaze lifts. Exhale, round your back and look down. Go ahead and give yourself 3 more rounds of breath. Feel free to add extra movements to this. Maybe there's some side bends or some circling in the hips. One more full breath. And then find a space in the middle of those two shapes where your spine feels like it's the longest. And then we'll take the left leg and send it back behind you. Tuck your toes. Push through the ball of the foot so your heel stretches behind the toes, and then shift forward so you're on the tippy toes. And then do that again, just push through the heel and then shift forward. And then find what feels like the middle of those two. Pick up your leg, take it up and over to your right side. So it's crossing behind you. The toes are tucked under for support on both feet, and then a big side bend over to your right. If that's feeling good, take your right arm to your right hip, or even stretch your right arm towards the sky. Deep breath in and out. Release, the palm comes down, and then pick up the leg, pause, turn out from the top of your thigh so your toes are facing the long edge of your mat. Bring the left knee in towards your left upper arm or elbow and pause. Bring the knee into your nose, back to your elbow or upper arm, and then back to your nose. You have one more like that, out and in. And then open the leg out and hold. Extend the leg straight off to the side. And then place your foot down off to the side of your mat. Take the right hand and thread it underneath your left so you drop your shoulder and your head to the mat. Press the left palm down and rotate from your ribs up towards your ceiling. Take your time to return both hands to your mat and then 2 knees back to your mat as well. 1 round of cat-cow, breathe in, open chest. Exhale, open back. Inhale, find center, pause. Take your your right leg straight back and tuck your toes. Press through the ball of the foot so that your heel stretches behind. Shift forward so you're on the tippy toes. Do that a couple more times, just waking up the bottoms of your feet. And then pause when you feel like you're in a neutral, right in the middle. Pick up your right leg and then take it over towards the left side of your mat. Tuck your toes under on both feet for balance. And then a big side bend over towards your left side. If that's going well and you're stable, left hand to left hip. And then maybe the left arm reaches towards the sky. Deep breath in and out. And then release, 2 hands back to your mat. Pick up your leg and pause. Turn out from the top of your thigh so your toes are facing the long edge of your mat. Bring left knee towards your left elbow or upper arm and pause. Bring the knee in to touch your nose. Back to your elbow or upper arm, and then back to your nose. 1 more like that, upper arm, and to your nose. And then back to your upper arm and pause. I'm going to turn to face this way. And then send your legs straight off to the side. Plant your foot down. Make sure that your bottom toes are tucked under as well. Then it's the left arm that threads underneath and you drop your shoulder. Press into the mat with the right hand and spin your chest up towards the ceiling. Take a full breath. Unravel the upper body, so 2 palms come back to your mat. Pick up your leg, and then release 2 knees to your mat. From here, let your toes tuck under. Lift the knees to a hover off of the mat. Hold. Firm the belly on all sides. Inhale, press your hips up. Exhale, shift your weight back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. While you're here, bend 1 knee, stretch the opposite heel, and switch. And switch. Do that for 2 more breaths. One heel reaching down, opposite knee is bent. And then stretch both heels towards your mat. Find a full breath. Inhale, let the heels rise as you bend your knees. Either hop your feet forward or walk your feet forward. The feet come to the hands. Come up halfway, palms on the shins or fingertips on your mat. Exhale, fold, round back into your legs. Ground well through your feet and rise up to stand. Breathe in. Exhale, gather your hands to your heart space. Then one round, Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, stretch long and tall. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold. Inhale, come up halfway, reach the chest forward. Exhale to plank, the palms are down, the feet step back, and you pause. So just to warm up our core a little bit more, shift your heels over to your right so your toes are facing the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, heels go left, toes go right. Inhale to center and to the right. Inhale, center and left. Inhale, center, pause, chaturanga lower. Inhale, untuck your toes, come up for a low cobra first. And lower. Medium cobra, hands in line with the ribs, lift your chest. Lower softly down. And then full Bhujangasana or full upward facing dog, your choice. Straight arms, thighs lifted. Exhale, hips rise, press back, downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath. And 3, lift the heels, bend the knees, hop or walk, feet come forward. Halfway lift, breathe in, forward fold, breathe out. Rise and stand, inhale. Gather your hands to your heart space, exhale. One more round, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, reach up and lengthen. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, create some space. And then your choice of vinyasa, the hands come down, the feet go back. Chaturanga with or without your knees on the mat. Breathe in, any amount of lift in your chest. Exhale, hips press all the way back to downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath. Bottom of your third, lift the heels and bend the knees. Hop or walk, feet come forward. Halfway lift, reach and lengthen. Fold and exhale. Rise and stand, inhale. And gather your hands at your heart, exhale. Stay well grounded in your feet, so check out where the feet ended up. You want your toes to face forward, and your feet can either be all the way together or no wider than hip width apart. Whatever is the most comfortable. Take an inhale, reach 2 arms up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to twist to the left side first. So you'll open twist to your left. Arms are long and broad. Imagine them like wings. And then take your left hip and bring it slightly forward as the right hip moves slightly back. So you really isolate the rotation in your upper torso. Take a deep breath in, and then walk your gaze towards your back hand. One more breath. Without changing the torso, reach your right arm towards the sky. So you're reaching long and upwards. And then wrap the left arm underneath your right for our first eagle arm. So you can either hug yourself, bring the backs of your hands together, or find a full wrap at the wrists. Lift your fingertips up towards the ceiling, and maybe there's a bend back here in your upper back. So just in the upper back if you're bending back, not in your lower back. Keep the tailbone well grounded. One full breath. Restack your torso so the belly is firm and sit into Utkatasana chair. So not full eagle legs, just chair. Sit nice and low from the tops of your thighs. Keep the legs, but unravel the arms. Reach them towards the sky. Full chair pose, Utkatasana hold. Find the fierceness in this pose. And then if your feet are ready, lift your heels so you're on the tippy toes. Lower maybe 3 more inches from the tops of your thighs. Heels down, legs straight, forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Bend the knees enough to get the hands to your mat. It's the right foot that steps back, and then you drop the knee. And then let's rise up to a low lunge. Take your hands on your hips and level them. So you're taking this left hip and drawing it down so it levels with the right. And then give your tailbone a little bit of a scoop so the belly is in. Bend the front knee, sink the hips forward. And then if you want a little bit more stretch, you can scoot your back knee back a little bit more. Bend the front knee quite a bit so that you find that length. Hold. Inhale, 2 arms reach towards the sky. And then again, open twist to your left side. So same as before, you're drawing the left hip back so that you're squaring the hips forward. Same arms, right arm reaches up towards the sky, reach long through both arms. And then Garudasana, wrap the left underneath your right, full wrap or a hug for yourself or somewhere in between. Inhale, little back bend for your upper back. Bow forward, lean with a flat back. Fingertips come towards the top of your mat. Unravel the arms, plant them on either side of the front foot. Tuck your back toes under and then float your left leg up towards the sky. Bend the knee, open your hip. Draw some circles with your toes, your ankles, and your knees. Square your hips and drop your toes. Stay for 2 breaths or move through Vinyasa flow. If you're moving, take an inhale, come to high plank, chaturanga with an exhale. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha or a back bend of your choice. Exhale for Adho Mukha, press all the way back. 2 rounds of breath. Inhale, pick up your right leg, bend your knee, open your hip, do some wiggling of your toes and your ankles, maybe your knees. Square your hips, step your right foot forward through between your hands. Drop your back knee and then rise up. So again, if you want a little bit deeper stretch, you can scooch your back knee back a little bit more, bend the front knee quite a bit. And then draw the belly in, level the hips just like you did on the other side. The right hip is moving down this time and back. 2 arms reach forward as they come up. Open twist to your right side. So just pause there for a second. I'm going to switch. Stay. Rotate a little bit more from your ribs and your waist. And then take the left arm up. Stretch long and wide. Right arm, bottom arm of your Garudasana Eagle. You can either hug yourself, find a full wrap, or somewhere in between. And then just like before, bend back through your upper back. Firm the belly, restack the torso, lean forward with a flat spine. Unravel the hands, 2 hands frame your front foot. Tuck your back toes under, lift your knee, and then simply step forward. Left foot comes to meet your right. Come up halfway with a breath in, and then a fold with a breath out. Rise and stand. Inhale, 2 arms reach towards the sky. Gather your hands together at your heart space. So go ahead and check out again where you ended up with your feet, either hip width or all the way together, all of your toes facing forward. And then ground well as you reach high with your arms. Inhale. And then we're open twisting to your right side this time. So try and really just isolate your rotation from your torso. So that means your right hip is going to come forward slightly as the left hip draws back slightly so that you're nice and square in your pelvis. And then that rotation happens above. Take one more breath. Left arm comes straight up. A little bit longer. Find your wings. And then right arm comes underneath your left. Again, it's a hug for yourself, or the backs of the hands come together. And then while the tailbone stays heavy, start to bend back from your upper back. Recommit the belly to your body. And then bend both knees, sit down into Utkatasana. So the legs are going to stay in chair. The arms are still in eagle for another breath. Unravel just the arms, keep the legs as they are, maybe in fact coming down 2 more inches and pause. Stay in this shape, or if you're ready for more, lift the heels so you're on your tippy toes. 3, 2, and then 1. Heels come down, legs go straight, fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway, find some space. It's the left leg that steps back this time, and this time the knee stays lifted off of your mat. Take an inhale as you rise up for crescent lunge. So same as before, the right hip draws back, the tailbone scoops under, and then we lower from the top of the thigh on the front leg. Arms come forward, and then they go up. Inhale. Breathe in, and then hands come to your heart this time. Take your twist, but closed this time. You'll bring your elbow towards the outside of your thigh, or if that doesn't feel quite right, left hand comes to the mat, and right arm reaches towards the sky. So either here or here. 1 deep breath. And then release. 2 hands to frame your front foot. Take your right leg and sweep it back and up towards the sky. Bend your knee. And again, draw those big circles on the ceiling with your legs. Square your hips. Drop your toes. Downward facing dog for 2 breaths. Or find vinyasa flow. If you're going for vinyasa, shift it forward to high plank. Lower through chaturanga. Big breath in, and then exhale back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we'll take the left leg and lift it up towards the sky. Bend the knee, and again do the wiggling of the legs. Square your hip off and step the left foot forward between your hands. I'm going to spin around. Rise up for crescent lunge. So all the same things apply here. The hips are steering forward. Your back thigh is pressing back and up. Try and keep your tail scooped so your belly is in. Arms come forward as they go up. Inhale. Exhale. Hands gather at your heart space. Lean forward with a flat back. And then take the twist towards your left side. So again, you can bring the elbow to the outside of your thigh, or if that feels better to have the hand on the ground, right hand is down, left hand lifts up. 1 full breath. Release 2 hands to your mat to frame your foot. Shift your weight forward. Step right foot to meet your left. Halfway lift with a breath in. And then exhale with a fold. Rise and stand, inhale. And then gather your hands together at your heart, exhale. Check out your feet, find a strong base, and then sit back into Utkatasana chair pose. Let the heels hover so you're on your tippy toes. And then sit a little bit lower, a little bit more, and then come all the way to your bottom. So if you need a hand to support you, go ahead. We're gonna lay onto our backs for a little bit of core work. So option 4, Garudasana Eagle core work. Right leg comes over your left to start with. Any amount. So if it feels better to do a figure 4, you can take the foot over the knee on the right side. And then arms, option 1 is going to be the hands underneath your head to support your neck. 2 would be the right arm underneath your left in a hug. 3 is that full wrap on your back. So go ahead and pick what place feels the best for your body. Take a breath in. And then exhale, lift your upper body. Imagine bringing your knees towards your nose. Inhale, away from center, but not so far that your lower back lifts. Exhale, everything condenses in. Again, inhale away. Exhale, condense. We have 5 more just like this. 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Hold it here and just the legs. So the upper body stays lifted if it can. Legs move forward an inch or so and then draw them in. Again, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. You have 2 more. 1 more. Lower your head. If you have the legs in this shape, you're just going to drop your bottom foot. Let the legs fall to your left side. Open out your arms, look at your right hand. Unravel, come back onto your back, and then we'll switch the cross of the legs. Uncross the right and cross your left leg over. So option 1 is that figure 4 shape for the legs. 2, the knee is wrapped over. Option 3 would be the full eagle wrap, wrapping your foot. Option 1 for hands, behind your head. Hug for yourself. The left one is under this time, or the full eagle wrap. Breathe in. Exhale, lift. Inhale, away from center. Exhale, condense. Continue. Be mindful of the lower back, wanting to lift off of your mat. Encourage the lower back to stay well grounded and stable. 3 more. 1, 2, and then 3. Hold and just the legs. Legs go forward and then they come in. 1, 2, 3, 2 more, and 5. Lower the head down, drop your bottom foot. Keep the cross of your legs however you have it. The legs go to your right, open arms and gaze left. And then take your time to unravel, come back onto your back, uncross your legs. Let the feet go wide so they're about mat width. Bring the knees together. Just let that space stretch in your lower back. Separate the knees, bring them into your chest, give them a squeeze. And then let's rock and roll ourselves up. So we'll go 1, maybe 2. And then on your 3, cross your ankles, plant the palms in front, and step back. So you have high plank pose, pause here. So just one more quick thing before we move on. You'll swivel the heels again to your right, and then your toes go left. Come back to center and swivel again. And swivel. One more. Come back to center, pause, and then downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, pick up your right leg towards the ceiling. Bend your knee, open the hip one more time. Square the hip, step your foot all the way through between your hands. This time we swivel the back heel down. We're setting up for warrior 2 feet. So most of us are comfortable with the heel lining with the arch. You might also be comfortable with the heel lined with the back heel. Play around with it. And we'll take the right hand on the inside of the right foot. If you have a block or a prop that you'd like to put there instead, that's more than welcome. And then the left arm reaches towards the sky. Imagine someone has a hold of your top fingers and then rise up to warrior 2. Expand your arms to the side. Full breath in. Reverse, take your right arm towards the ceiling and your left hand towards your back thigh. Big side stretch for your right side. And then inhale as you rise, 2 arms reach up towards the sky. Straighten your front leg and then spin your heels in and your toes out. So we're coming to a goddess shape, so go ahead and bend your knees. And then bring the hands to your heart. We'll cross the right palm in front of your left, hook your thumbs together. You have that Garuda Mudra again. Full breath in, deep breath out. Maybe a couple more breaths. Deepen your squat with your breath. And then when you feel like you're at the lowest place for your legs, go ahead and hover both heels. So you're on your tippy toes again. Hold, breathe in, and out. If you're feeling the urge to go ahead and pulse, you can lower the hips down and up a couple of inches for just 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep the heels lifted. Keep the thighs as they are. Release your arms up towards the ceiling and pause. Heels come down and you straighten both legs. And then drop your right arm and open twist. Left arm, right arm comes up. And then find the eagle wrap of your arms. Bend both knees. So we're going to take a step forward and cross the left leg on top of your right. So if you need to shorten your stance to get ready, it may be graceful, it may not be graceful. Either way, it's perfect. Shift your weight, step up, and then you wrap. So your wrap can either have your toes on your mat or you can wrap the foot all the way behind your calf. Wherever you're most comfortable. If you prefer just chair legs, that's more than welcome as well. Sit lower from the tops of your thighs and then reach your fingertips forward as they come up. You have another full round of breath. Unravel just the leg. Send your left heel forward. Keep it as high as your hip is if possible, and then unravel the arms, reach them towards the sky. Full inhale. Deep exhale. And then release. 2 feet come to the top of your mat. 2 hands come to your heart. Full round of breath. And then we flow. Take an inhale. 2 arms float up. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Vinyasa or no vinyasa, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Inhale to lift your chest. And exhale to press back. Full round of breath. And then the left side. Take an inhale, lift your left leg. I'm going to spin around again. Lift your left leg, bend the knee, open through your hip. square your hips, step the foot forward. Swivel your back heel down. So we're setting up for those warrior 2 feet again. So check your alignment before you rise. The front heel lines with either the back arch or heel. Play around with the difference. And then we'll take the left hand on the inside of your left foot and stretch your right arm up towards the sky. For what we call Utthita Parsvakonasana, we're calling it B or hot triangle. Imagine pushing your bottom arm into your shin and let your shin gently push back. Deep breath. Ground well through your feet as you press to stand. Find warrior 2, expand your arms. And then reverse, the right hand comes down and stretch the left hand up and back. So we're looking for that length along your side. Try and keep the bend into your thigh to really open up through your side body. Gaze down at your back foot or up underneath your arm. And then take an inhale as you rise, 2 arms come up, and then you straighten both legs. Spin your heels in and your toes out. Shorten your stance if needed for goddess pose again. Bend both knees. This time the hands come to your thighs. We'll do our shoulder dipping. Drop your right shoulder down, and then your left. And go back and forth one more time. And then come back to center. Bring the hands together at your heart space. So typically this mudra has just the right arm in front of the left, but just for balance sake, we're gonna go left over right. So you're holding your mudra, you're lowering from the tops of your thighs. Pause here. And then exhale, lower a couple more inches. Inhale, maybe it's up an inch or so. Exhale, down. Again, up. And down. One more time. Keep what feels like your depth and lift your heels. So you're on your tippy toes, your legs are still pretty low, hold it. And then option for those pulses, you'll lower the hips down and up an inch, just for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Keep the heels lifted, but release your arms. Reach them all the way up towards the ceiling. Pause. And then heels come down. Go ahead and straighten the legs. And then let's see, it's going to be your open twist to your left side. And then it's going to be the right arm over, so the left arm comes up. And then you wrap. So it should be the opposite arms that you've already done. If it's not, just simply change it. Either a hug for yourself or the backs of the hands together or a full wrap. And then once you find your eagle wrap, go ahead and lift your fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then here's that transition. You're going to shift towards your left foot and take your right leg over at the same time. So if you need to shorten the distance between your feet to do it, go ahead. And then when you're ready, shift, lift your leg, and then you wrap. So your options are to place the foot onto your mat. This is for stability. You pick up the leg, or maybe there's a full wrap there. 3 full rounds of breath. One more. Keep the arms, just unravel the leg. Send your heel forward, like you're pushing something away from you. Lift the leg as high as your hip is. Hold. Unravel just your arms, reach them towards the sky. Big breath in. And then release. 2 feet come together. Hands come to your heart. Deep full inhale. And a deep exhale. One more. And then take a breath in, reach up towards the ceiling, full breath. Fold forward. Halfway lift, inhale. Vinyasa or no vinyasa, come to downward facing dog. And then we're going to take an inhale to lift your left leg, but keep it straight and square. Step the foot forward between your hands, and then take your back leg and step it in a step so that you can put the heel down. So it doesn't have to be a huge step forward. You can stay pretty wide with your pyramid legs. The back heel is down and slightly turned inward, so it's like warrior one feet, only a little bit shorter. Come up halfway with a breath in. And then any amount of fold with your breath out. Think about this left hamstring and send your tailbone back and up a little bit while pushing down through the ball of your foot. And then inhale, come up halfway. Lift your left toes. Roll to the outer edge of that foot. And then lift your back heel. You'll keep walking the hands over towards the left, so the front left corner of your mat. Pause there. And then you'll bend your back knee and drop it down so you end up in a Gomukhasana shape with your legs. So if this shape doesn't feel right in your body, you can do figure 4 instead. So that's the right foot is down, the left leg is on top. You can do figure 4 with a straight bottom leg. If Agni Stambhasana feels better, fire log pose, you can drop your bottom leg. So I'm going to go back to Gomukhasana shape. The knee is over your bottom knee as much as possible. Flex both feet. And then take your hands into your thighs and just push down to sit up tall. And then to do something different with the arms today, take your left arm up. And then bend your elbow back behind you. Grab a hold of the outside of the arm and just give it a little pull. If a full Gomukhasana wrap is in your practice, I have it with a strap. If you have that strap or something with you still, you'll give it to the left hand and dangle the arm behind you, and then your bottom arm comes back to hook a hold. Try not to sacrifice the space in your chest to get the wrap. Keep the chest broad. Keep your shoulders back. Full inhale. Let go of whatever arm shape that you have is, and then expand your arms to the side and push away. Both hands turn towards the top of your mat. Place the hands down and then walk them outwards. So if you keep pressing the left hip down, whether you're in fire log or figure 4, you'll get that stretch along your left lower side back. And then the transition here may be graceful, it may not be graceful, that's okay. You'll plant the palms down, you'll lift your hips, you'll step right foot back and then the left. So you're in high plank. Vinyasa or no vinyasa, we'll go to downward facing dog. And then it's the right leg that lifts. This time it's straight and square. Foot steps forward. Swivel your back heel down, step it forward enough so that you can put the heel all the way down. It's warrior 1 legs again, so it's slightly turned inward, and then draw your right hip back. Come up halfway with a breath in. Any amount of fold with an exhale. One more full round of breath. And then come up halfway, pick up your left toes or your right toes. Spin the outer edge of your foot towards your mat as you lift your back heel. And then walk both hands towards the front right corner of your mat. And then keep spinning until you can drop your back knee and sit down into a Gomukhasana shape. So Gomukhasana means cow face because of the legs here, supposedly the lips, and then the arms end up being the ears. You may or may not see it. So again, if this shape doesn't feel right in your body, you can back it out to maybe this shape, to maybe this shape, or this one. So go ahead and pick some sort of shape that feels appropriate in your legs and your hips. If you're doing this one, flex your feet and then ground down through both hips. Lift nice and long and then pause. And then when we're ready to add the arms, it's going to be the right arm that reaches straight up to start. Bend your elbow. Grab a hold of the outside of the arm and just give it a nice little pull. And if you went for the full Gomukhasana shape, you'll give your strap to your top arm. Dangle it behind you. And then this arm rotates inward to start. It goes behind you. And then as soon as you capture your strap or your hand, you pull the left shoulder back again. Remember, we don't want to sacrifice space in the chest to get the wrap. 2 rounds of breath. Release the arms and the props. Expand your arms to the side and press. Turn to your left, which might be the front of your mat. Place 2 hands there. Ground through your right hip. So again, this works with whatever shape your legs are in. And then when you're ready, we're lifting and we're going back to a high plank this time. So the hands are going to stay. You'll shift your weight so that you can straighten your back leg, and then you straighten your front leg as well. Shift forward and go ahead and lower to your belly. Untuck your toes. And then take your hands a little bit wide of your mat. Lift the heels of your hands so you're on your fingertips. And then inhale to pick up your chest. Imagine the chest reaching forward as the shoulders draw back and down. And then we'll dip the left shoulder as you gaze right. Inhale, pick up the body and switch. Dip your right shoulder, gaze left. Inhale, body lifts. Exhale, lower down. So we'll do a couple of options for the next back bend shape. Bend your knees up and flex your feet. Start by just pressing your feet towards the ceiling so the knees hover a little bit, and then your arms can open to a cactus shape. Lift the upper body. This is what we call skydiver. You're welcome to stay right here in this shape, or if you're looking for more, grab a hold of your ankles. And for today, try your ankles instead of your feet. Squeeze the knees and the ankles together, flex the feet, and then press the feet back to open your chest. One more full breath. Let go of your feet. Arms come by your sides. Look over at one side. And then you can bend the knees again and draw big circles on the ceiling with your legs. And reverse. Straighten your legs, plant the palms in line with your chest. Press up and back to a child's pose, all the way back over your heels, and allow the head to rest. Rise on up, and then just have a seat to one hip, and bring your legs around in front of you. Scoot yourself forward so that you have space to lay down, and then lay all the way down onto your mat. So we'll do a bridge pose. You can bend your knees and walk the feet very close to your bottom, and let all of your toes face forward. Snuggle your shoulders underneath you, and then we'll lift up. So for this one, grab a hold of the edges of your mat and squeeze the arms up, or try and separate the mat apart. And notice how that really grounds your outer shoulders. Push down there to lift your hips maybe 1 inch higher. Lower the hips all the way back down, 1 vertebrae at a time. Do a little sway from side to side with the legs. So you can do that one again with the grabbing the mat and pulling, or once you get onto your back and lift your hips, you can interlace your fingers and press your upper arms down into your mat. So your choice, set up your feet, snuggle the shoulders, lift your hips. So again, grabbing the mat, you're trying to break the mat apart, and notice how that grounds your shoulders. Stay with that, or go a little bit further, interlacing the fingers underneath your body, pressing your upper arms down into your mat. The more you press, maybe the more you lift. 1 more breath. Release your hands, lower the hips all the way back down, separate your feet to mat width, sway your legs. And then take this into your favorite twist. Your legs are open and wide already, so it lends well to an open twist. You just let the legs fall to your right, and you might choose to pick up your right foot, place it on top of your left thigh, and give it a nice push. And then the arms open out to a cactus shape. You draw the shoulders underneath you. If you prefer the wrapped legs or just the legs together, please do that instead. If you're in the open twist, slide the foot off the knee and bring your legs to center. Do a little bit of the swaying from side to side. And then let's switch. The legs go to your left. Left foot on top of right thigh. If you're doing the open twist, the arms stay in cactus. Again, another variation is more than welcome. And then slide the foot off the knee, bring the legs back to center, and one more time, little sway. Then pause, bring the knees together to touch. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling, and one more time, hug yourself. Arms float up, and then you switch. Arms reach up with a breath in, and then release everything back down. Go ahead and set up for your space. For Shavasana, you're welcome to keep the knees bent if that's more comfortable on your back. You're welcome to straighten your legs, or take any other preferred shape. Let the eyes softly close. Let the breath soften into something effortless and easy. And then let all feelings, all thoughts completely disappear. If you're holding on to anything, let it be hope. Let that hope grow. Let it expand. And let it be your place of peace. If you're able to stay longer, please do. If you're ready to come back, start with small movements in your hands and your feet. Stretch overhead like you're just waking up. Bend your knees and roll over to your favorite side. And then press up to a comfortable seat, Sukhasana or any comfortable seat. And then one more time, Garuda Mudra, the right one in front of the left. Hook your thumbs and bring your wings to your heart. Let's come together for a full cleansing breath. Release everything out. Deeply inhale. Let it go. Reseal your lips. Bring the hands together at your heart and then up to your third eye. Thank you all so much for joining me this morning, for sharing your beautiful energy and your beautiful practice. It's truly my honor to guide you. Namaste.